Erika Kirk, born Erika Francevy, won Miss USA pageant November 2011, her 23rd birthday, which qualified her to represent Arizona in the 2012 Miss USA National competition at the time.
Yeah, Erika Kirk's a honeypot, and I got the proof.
Every Saturday, so he would turn his phone off to honor the Sabbath. He would come in, open the junk drawer. Everyone has a junk drawer. Open the junk drawer, said Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
You saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk. What percentage did you put on that?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%.
A military whistleblower has now come forward and said, with about 99% confidence, that Erika Kirk may actually be a military plant with connections to secret military operations. What makes this even more shocking is that one of those operations also included powerful people connected to Charlie's organization, TPUSA. As soon as this came out, people started asking a very uncomfortable question. Was Charlie's assassination really random, or was it planned all along, like Candace has been warning everyone about for months? Now that someone who worked inside the system is giving sworn testimony and calling Erika a certified agent, the old rumors about her being a honeypot suddenly don't sound so crazy anymore. That's why people everywhere are asking the same thing now. If Erika really was a plant, who exactly has she been working for this whole time?
They begin what becomes a 7-hour interrogation. Okay, they think he's a spy. How did you rumble this meeting? How did you know this meeting was taking place? He's being asked a bunch of questions. They're putting pressure on him.
Before we even talk about the honeypot claims, the most important thing is how this information came out in the first place. This story didn't begin with a viral video or some random Reddit post. It actually started with a quiet private message. A man reached out claiming he had first-hand knowledge tied directly to Charlie's death. According to Candace, this whistleblower contacted her privately with a serious warning. He told her that what he had seen would completely change how people viewed Erika Kirk and explain why so many details around Charlie's assassination never seemed to make sense. That alone raised alarms because this wasn't someone looking for attention or fame. He went directly to Candace, someone who had already been questioning the official story. Candace didn't rush to share it. She checked his background, his service history, and carefully listened to his story. Once she realized he was legit, she made a tough choice. Even though it could hurt her career and finances, she gave him a platform. And the moment he spoke publicly, everything shifted. The whistleblower explained that he had gone to Fort Wooka to resolve old military service issues from decades ago. As soon as he arrived, he felt something wasn't right. People were tense. Conversations stopped when he walked by, and the whole place felt heavy. That's when he realized a high-level meeting was happening, involving top military officials, congressmen, and powerful stakeholders.
He was joined by a female that you can definitely tell when, how do you put it, when people are well off and they're dressing down. She was definitely dressing down, and it was very well kept. The one thing I noticed about the woman that really stuck out to me was her eyes.
Now, high-level meetings on military bases do happen, so that alone wasn't shocking. What caught his attention was who was actually there. He saw faces he didn't recognize at the time, but later couldn't forget once Charlie was dead and everything started coming apart. The scary part is that he didn't understand how important that moment was until after the assassination. This is where things get uncomfortable. As most people know, Candace Owens has been saying for months that the truth about Charlie's death was being hidden. When the whistleblower finally revealed who he saw at that meeting, those suspicions suddenly felt real. According to him, Erika Kirk was there. Not someone who looked like her, not someone similar, but Erika herself. He said he was between 95 and 99% sure. That single detail instantly made everything feel heavier and harder to ignore.
If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
Those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I can't imagine somebody else.
Because at that time, Erika was not supposed to be anywhere near a secure military meeting, especially not one happening the day before her husband was assassinated live on national television. That's when people started asking the obvious question. Why would a woman publicly known as a housewife and influencer be inside a high-level military setting at that exact moment? At first, it sounded unbelievable. But then people started digging into Erika's past and realized how much of it had never been clearly explained. Erika didn't rise through random influencer groups. Her family already had deep connections to the security world. Her parents worked closely with federal agencies like the FBI and Homeland Security. That meant Erika didn't just know powerful people. She grew up surrounded by them. As she got older, those connections expanded into political and security circles filled with people who leave no online traces and don't appear on LinkedIn. So when people say Erika's rise was planned and calculated, this is what they mean. Once her name was tied to that military meeting, the idea that anything in her life was accidental stopped making sense. That includes how she met Charlie, how protected she's been since his death, and why so much of her background seems to vanish the closer people look. Things were already disturbing, but then the whistleblower shared something even more unsettling. Erika wasn't alone at that meeting. According to him, she was there with Brian Harpole, the same Brian Harpole who served as Charlie's head of security.
The head of security there, he was one of the people walking out with the congressman. Now, how would I know that? I just have a gift for recognizing people.
As many people remember, Harpole was one of the first to speak publicly after the assassination. Instead of taking responsibility, he immediately blamed Utah Valley Police, accusing them of serious security failures. But that explanation doesn't really hold up. Charlie didn't trust strangers with his safety. He built Spuzza on loyalty. The people closest to him were carefully chosen and deeply trusted. So the idea that his head of security would knowingly allow him to walk into a dangerous situation and just hope things worked out doesn't make sense. Even if police ignored warnings, there were still options. The event could have been delayed, the location changed, Charlie pulled off stage, or at least warned directly so he could decide for himself. None of that happened. Instead, Charlie walked into a situation that Harpole later admitted was compromised, and somehow the blame stopped there. That's why the whistleblower's claim matters so much. If Harpole was sitting in a high-level military meeting with Erika the day before the assassination, then his anger afterward starts looking less like accountability and more like damage control. That raises serious questions. What was discussed in that room? Why was Charlie's head of security there? And if Erika was also present, what role was she playing while her husband was being led toward his final speech? After the whistleblower went public, people noticed other details about Erika that didn't add up before. One major detail was how Erika knew Charlie was dead. In an interview with the New York Times, Erika said Charlie's chief of staff, Mikey McCoy, called her just minutes after the shooting and told her he had died. But the timeline doesn't match. At that moment, authorities hadn't confirmed who was shot, and Charlie wasn't pronounced dead until much later at the hospital. So how did she know for sure so quickly? That question made people start looking even closer. That's when attention turned to Erika's background, or more accurately, how little of it exists. Despite being in the public eye for over 10 years, there's very little verified information about her family. After her mother, everything goes quiet. Her father mostly exists as a name, with no clear photos, no solid records, and no online footprint matching someone connected to high-level security. That absence made people uneasy because it looked like parts of Erika's past had been wiped clean. When you combine that with the whistleblower placing her in a military meeting, it stops feeling random. The question became darker. Not just what she knew, but who was protecting her after Charlie was gone. The whistleblower said the final puzzle piece came from how the military reacted to him being nearby. He said the mood changed instantly when they realized he was was in the area. He was detained and questioned for hours, pressured about details he didn't have, and grilled about people he'd never even spoken to. The response was far too intense for someone who clearly didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah, a couple more captains came around the corners and they escorted me way out. They wanted to take me out of the building. I thought I was getting arrested, and I didn't know what I had done wrong.
At the time, he couldn't figure out why they were so nervous. But when Charlie was killed just days later and everything afterward felt tightly controlled, it finally clicked. That meeting wasn't routine, and Erika being there wasn't an accident. From that point on, everything moved with precision. Information was locked down. Timelines became unclear. Faces vanished from the internet. And a woman who was supposed to be just a grieving widow somehow remained protected while everyone else grew silent. The whistleblower didn't speak like someone chasing fame. He spoke like someone who realized too late that he had stumbled into something he was never meant to witness. Something that ended with Charlie losing his life. So now the real question isn't whether Erika knew more than she admitted. It's whether she ever told the truth at all. Because if she truly was a plant, then Charlie was never safe. And whoever approved that meeting is still watching everything unfold without saying a word.